Saints Row is a series that's had its fair share of distinct and truly unforgettable missions. From shootouts on the street to barrel rolls through space, it can be quite tricky to decide which missions are undoubtedly the greatest. Well, today I'm here to help as we look at the top 5 best missions in Saints Row. To qualify for this list, each mission has to be entertaining, memorable, and rewarding to play. We'll be excluding strongholds and activities so that it's strictly missions relating to the story. Also, co-op won't be a necessary factor for the mission. Without further delay, let's jump right in.
The Vice Saints will own you!
When it comes to citywide destruction and chaos, 3rd Street Vice Kings has you covered. After learning the police are on Ben King's payroll, Dex formulates a plan for Johnny and the player to cause havoc disguised as Vice Kings. From there, it's up to you to get 2-star notoriety and let news vans record every moment of the rampage. This quickly makes for some outrageous moments, especially with Gat fighting by your side. Eventually, Johnny orders you to ramp into some bowling pins and to use a bulldozer to destroy the Pride of Stillwater statue. When all is said and done, the police have no choice but to turn their attention to the Vice Kings, and Warren Williams reaches his breaking point with Benjamin King.
Now get the fuck out of my office.
Overall, this mission has a little bit of everything. Gathering the news footage feels like a combination of escort, fuzz, and mayhem. Plus, you can't go wrong destroying property with Johnny Gat. Three-Way has a distinct difference from any other mission thanks to its 2 unique choices. Unlike previous decisions made throughout the game that simply change cutscenes or rewards, Three-Way presents 2 possible endings. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's begin at the mission start. The boss has just returned to the Saints HQ when suddenly a war breaks out between Stag and the Luchadors. With Pierce and Oleg, you fight your way through key points in the city until finally reaching the military base. Here, the boss is informed that Killbane's attempting to leave Steelport and Shandi's being held captive by Kia on top the Magarat statue. This is where you have to decide on either saving Shandi and letting Killbane escape, or eliminating Killbane and letting Shandi die. The song I Need a Hero begins to play, prompting the player to rescue Shandi, but the decision is ultimately up to you. If you choose to help Shandi, it becomes a race to the statue, using the Sonic Blaster to knock armed explosives into the water, and finally confronting Kia. The resulting battle is very reminiscent to Saints Row 2 when Veteran Child kidnapped Shandi. In both fights, you need to stun Shandi's captor so she's let go, and you can fill them full of lead. After throwing a couple stun grenades, you'll kill Kia and save everyone on the Magarat Island. But if you go after Killbane, you'll need to protect Angel from Luchadors and Stag before he drives you to the airport. Killbane's plane will begin to take off, and you'll have to fire a few rockets to stop it. When the plane is destroyed, a cutscene will play showing Killbane emerge from the debris.
So here we are, 2 titans among men.
A few words are exchanged before being thrown into a QuickTime event. Once you beat the living hell out of Killbane, you finish him off by snapping his neck. One last cutscene will play of the Magarat statue exploding. Pierce will call you asking if it was all worth it, and Monica Hughes will tell Cyrus to send in the Daedalus. Compared to some of the more ridiculous missions in Saints Row the Third, Three-Way offers arguably more replayability and emotional investment. Either ending you go with has its rewards, but if you're not satisfied, the mission can be played once more to see the other outcome. Out of all the Ronin missions in Saints Row 2, none of them stand out quite like Canto Connection. Taking place after Junichi has killed Aisha and wounded Gat, the boss receives a mysterious phone call telling them that Junichi can be found at Canto. You make your way there on a motorcycle before confronting Junichi at the bottom floor of the tea house. This is where you engage in a badass sword fight between Ronin and a dual katana wielding Junichi. Defeating the swarms of Ronin is fairly easy, but getting a single hit on Junichi will prove otherwise.
This is where you die!
With a little punishment, you'll memorize his patterns and finally slay him once and for all. The boss then walks away and takes a piece of sushi for the road. Not only is Canto Connection a nice wink to Kill Bill, it's emotionally rewarding and provides its own particular gameplay that can only be seen in one other mission. Except here, there's no annoying helicopter segment or easy exploit to finish the level. The only thing that can make the mission better is if you wear the ninja suit. The very next day is easily the highlight of Saints Row 4's story. It starts with one of the greatest cutscenes in the franchise, brings back fan favorite Johnny Gat, and it all plays out in a phenomenal retro-style arcade game. Once the boss discovers that Johnny Gat is alive, it becomes their prime objective to save him at all cost. This leads to drama between the new and old Saints before you're dropped into Gat's 2D simulation, Saints of Rage. You're treated to a brief cutscene of Warren Williams kidnapping Aisha before you and Retro Gat have to save her. On top of action-packed gameplay and arcade-friendly controls, the fact you play as your personalized boss in the mission is pretty freaking awesome. There's a total of 3 stages, which include the streets of Stillwater, Kingdom Come Records, and the suburbs. At the end of each stage, you fight a boss. Stage 1 is fairly simple, taking on 2 security guards, but Warren Williams on Stage 2 is where things get a bit tricky. Stage 3 ends with you and Gat fighting Junichi in Aisha's home. After defeating him twice, Gat is reunited with Aisha one last time before he's released from the simulation. The final segment of the mission has you using the mech to reach Johnny on the Zen ship. At the end, you find Gat, he explains his disappearance in Saints Row 3, and you unlock your old homie to use in free roam. There's not much more you can ask for in a single mission. Being able to use your customized boss alone makes for hours of replayability. Add in the old school arcade game references plus the return of Johnny Gat, and you have one of the best missions in the series.
Why don't you just put the gun down? We both know you're not gonna use it.
Not yet.
And at number 1, we have Revelation. Unlike any other mission in the Saints Row series, Revelation can only be unlocked by finding these hidden audio tapes at the Stillwater police station. Listening to each one reveals the circumstances that led to the yacht explosion in Saints Row 1. So basically, Dex confronts Troy about being an undercover cop, and Julius rigged the yacht to explode in order to get a pardon. Inside Troy's office, you'll find Dex's phone number. By calling him, he'll tell you to meet at the old church. Once the boss arrives, they're surprised to see Julius show up instead. After a quick confrontation, Misako's soldiers begin raiding the church. From here, you're forced to fight alongside Julius as wave of Misako soldiers storm in from all entrances. Eventually, you fight your way outside, taking on more groups of Misako till Julius finds it safe enough to escape in his car. Thankfully, Julius just happens to carry a bunch of weapons and rockets in his back seat. You use these to take out the pursuing Misako bears and SUVs until making one last stand in the museum district. Once the remaining Misako are killed, a final cutscene plays between the boss and Julius. This is one of the most nail-biting moments in the series. Julius explains to the player that their efforts from the previous game were worthless and that they simply became Vice Kings in purple. Some final words are exchanged before the boss ruthlessly kills Julius. This entire mission is simply incredible. Just the act of unlocking it makes it all the more rewarding to play. Back in 2009, gamers were pretty blown away to find this for the first time.
How you doing, player? If you've gone through Troy's files, you know that Julius set you up.
It ties up most of the loose ends from Saints Row 1 and leaves the player quite satisfied. Combined with the action-packed gameplay, and you have the best mission in Saints Row. Well everyone, there you have the top 5 best missions in the Saints Row series. It wasn't easy putting this list together, and undoubtedly not everyone will agree with what's here. If there's a mission you like in particular or think should have been on the list, please leave a comment below. Shout out to my Patreon supporters John and Emperor Palpatine. Like always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
What's up, Dex?
I know you're a cop.
Fuck are you talking about?
Come on, man. Who you think you talking to? The tactics, the police station thing, your shitty haircut? You got cop written all over you.
So, what are you gonna do?
Nothing.
What?
I'm out, Troy. I got offered a job at Ultor. I'm dropping my flags and I'm going straight. I just want to make sure that we're not gonna have a problem.
How you doing, Julius?
I was doing better before I got arrested.
I wanted to talk to you about that.
I bet you do.
Listen, Julius, you've made some bad choices, but you're a good man. Let me help you out.
What do you want?
I want the Saints to be gone. Okay? Now, there's 2 ways that can happen.
You can arrest all of us.
Or you guys can quit while you're ahead. All right, this is my investigation. I can miss a few collars.
What are you saying?
Dex is out of the game, and you're in jail. If you can convince Johnny and your number 2 to drop their flags, the Saints will fall apart, and everyone goes home happy.
You don't think this will work, do you?
You think I like arresting my friends? Convince them to quit, and I won't have to.
There's no way that player's gonna stop.
Make them understand.
Let's say I can. How do I know I'm going free?
I've already talked to the mayor. Hughes is willing to give you guys pardons.
I'll see what I can do.
What the fuck was that?
It was the only way.
I said talk, not set off a goddamn bomb.
Relax, Troy. The Saints are finished. Don't try to find me.